You know, I've been reading Blue Lock for a long time now. Even I can confidently say, sometimes I really wonder if this even is a soccer manga. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here, fun fact. I do mean to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. You know, fun fact. I mean, you know what time it is. It's peak every week time, and we are here for chapter 342 of Peak Raw, which is known as Recapture. And I'm pretty intrigued. Last chapter was the setup of Doom and Despair. Shido. I was literally just about to glaze you. Why I have to read that bottom panel, bro? Shido, but never. What, like, here's the thing. Is it even the soccer manga allegations? Cool with. The BL allocations, it's literally the acronym for the series. You know? Like it's acted fine. We're never beating the freak allegations, bro, and it's all his fault. I mean, to be fair, can't act like Hugo has been getting a little bit up and freaky on people. He probably should be getting up and freaky on. But regardless, man, Shido, it's the first page, man. It's the first. We're opening with this. I was gonna glaze the aura and how it actually, funnily enough, still looks weaker than like Charles's aura. But I think is a really nice definition an aura for Loki. Really, or not Loki, Lord, like. Is a really nice aura and a way to sell Shido as a threat. Especially considering, like, Shido, he's one of those weird characters who hasn't been power crept, but he also hasn't gone absolutely insane, right? Like, as cool as he was in PXG, and I see a lot of people actually really like his PXG header goal all the way back in PXG. It feels so weird saying all the way back, but that was a pretty solid chunk ago now. Like, specifically that goal. PXG itself wasn't that long ago, but the goal from PXG, that was like pre-300s, remember? I'm pretty sure that was probably like maybe 380 or something. So it's been well over a year since Shido's like last goal, and then he wasn't really all too relevant in the back half of PXG, and obviously he didn't even play last game. So it has been a minute since we've seen Shido as a threat, or just, you know, him having actual narrative relevance. So it is good to remind us that he is built like this. But of course, Shido is built like this. I mean, he's just a little bit free. And like, here's the thing. Will I judge anybody for getting their freak on? Not really. Do you? Right? Live your life as long as everyone's okay with it. But I don't think everyone's okay with it. Shido, live television. Like what does his family think of it? Like, I don't know. I know some people don't necessarily care about their family. Who knows? Shido may not even have a family as far as we know. He may have just spawned into existence. But like, I don't know. I still think of how I like if someone ever like, I just can't imagine saying that, bro. But like, let's see what's up. Let's operate in chapter 342 of Bluelock, known as Recapture. Karasu's main weapon is Shido, which actually is, speaking of PXG, I believe that actually is a really good corollary to what was happening in PXG, because I believe Karasu was with Shido before. So if there is anyone to use his weapon, it would be Shido, the guy he had already facilitated. And on top of that, Ren's just not doing anything right now. Mr. Itoshi, what's the word? It's been a minute, bro. I don't even think it's been confirmed that he has a hard counter. I think, unironically, Ren has kind of just been set up to be there, which is a little bit unfortunate. Like, I mentioned this in my thoughts on the France Game So Far video, but like, I feel like both Loki and Ren, despite being the two, like, objectively strongest characters of their respective teams, have kind of, like, done nothing. At least Loki's been included in the clip farming, which isn't really good for Loki in his narrative. I know he's holding back, he's not sweating, no reflex eyes, no flow. I get it. But still, you know, it's kind of rough when you have to go to your little 15-year-old midfielder and be like, hey, you think you could slide me a goal or two? It's kind of rough. The world would be sad if I didn't score at all. You know what's happening? It's like, Loki, it's every game, but at least he's been appearing. Man, when was the last time Ren was even on? I feel like bro's not even here. But Shido being here makes absolute sense. He would act as a really interesting centralizing force, right? But I'm interested to see how he's gonna cook. So let's take a look. Do I have to say it? Yeah, sure, why not? Time to blast out this goal load. Like I said, I'm not judging anyone for getting the freak on. But on live TV? Like millions of them, like on the World Cup, like Like, I don't know. And to be fair, he's probably not mic'd up. So, like, maybe no one hears it except for the people in the pitch. But that's possibly even more terrifying. Like, imagine being this guy here and being like, he's what? He said, what? Where? like, I'd be concerned. Let's see. Oh, hey, Charles, it's been a minute for you, too. Let's see. Shido-chan is finally here. Oh, yeah. I suppose he would be happy. It's really like Charles. I mean, I can't say he's done nothing, but he is subservient to Hugo this match, right? One of the few weaknesses I even noted throughout the. Oh, well, actually, the video, I'm not sure. 15 minutes. That's the thing. There's only so much you can say in 15 minutes. But a weakness for Charles is that after his first goal, he's kind of done nothing, right? Because Hugo basically facilitated his own goal in the first half, and he's been running around. He's played a little defense here or there, but like Charles hasn't really done all too much. And neither is, it's crazy how much of this has really been a Hugo carry, but it makes absolute sense to be a Hugo carry considering, you know, the nature of this game being Hugo's game and setting him up as, most certainly, as people point out, a long-term antagonist. Will he be on the same vein as like a Kaiser? I'd say yes and no. The reason I say yes is because like he literally, not hard counters, but no, literally I'd say hard counters Ego's entire philosophy, and by proxy Bluelock's entire philosophy, and by proxy Isagi's entire philosophy. And obviously at this rate, I just don't really see Bluelock actually beating that, especially considering, you know, what Karasu is doing right now. So legitimately, Hugo, he's going to be a fiend for basically the rest of the narrative as far as we know. But the reason I say no in the same vein as Kaiser is because he just specifically isn't in the same sphere as Isagi. He's capable of doing the same things Isagi can, but he isn't like striker focused in the same way that Kaiser is striker focused. And you can tell, like, very specifically, the interest that Kaiser started with and then ended with in Isagi is fundamentally different from the interest that Hugo has in Isagi, right? Like, they are definitely long-term, sink your hooks into the character, we're gonna be here for a long time type of characters, but they're in such different spheres that I don't see Hugo fulfilling a similar narrative role to Kaiser. Especially since Kaiser ultimately is like the ideal Isagi, even still, he is just Ego's methods and ideology pushed to the limit anyway. Meanwhile, Hugo stands in direct opposition. But that literally goes back to leaving Charles with kind of not much to do. Like, unless he's feeding Loki, which so far he hasn't really been doing. He's just running around being a little guy. That's fine. But we get to do something, especially now that he has Shido. Or Shido has him? Maybe? We'll see. Let's see. Oh, wait. You know what? No, but you know what? I've gotten used to the emoji speak. It's interesting. Just a smile, though. Let's see. I played with him in the Neo Aegis League, so I know how he and Karasu make a killer duo. Yep. See? So, yeah, they even reference it. This was technically meta. Did it work against BM? No, but everything was destined to fail against BM eventually. But at least for here now, yeah, Charles would know. And that is interesting, right? Technically, if there's one person Hugo should have an intense amount of data about, it actually should be Shido. Obviously not his training or anything post Neo Aegis League, but his master was Loki. So they should know ball. Let's see. All right. Loki doing the dash. Wait, why do I keep calling him Loki? What's wrong with it? But let's see. Shido doing the dash, make it go fast. Let's see. Is this? Do my eyes deceive me? Is that Shido Ryusei dribbling? Or if he's just bulldozing? I mean, hey. Remember, Batra was getting locked up by this guy, but looks like this guy's light work. Easy eats for Shido. All right. We got to score before Hugo gets here. But you know what, though? I say that's crazy, but that's also beautiful. I understand it. There's some conditions where you're like, I need to do X before Y happens. Because if Y happens, I'm not doing X. Like, for example, recently, I played a whole game of, like, 4-man commander with my friends. Here's like, literally one of the dice we used to roll. And like, there was a point at the game where I was like, okay, before I even try to do anything with my command, before I swing out, I need to exile somebody else's commander, bro, because it's not looking good. And that's the same thing here for Hugo. Obviously, completely different in terms of like physical balancing versus game balancing. But yeah, Hugo is sort of just the hard meta counter. He's big enough, he's fast enough, he's durable enough, and he understands the game enough that if he gets near the ball, it's probably wrapped for anyone not named, well, probably Barou or Shido. They may be able to work around him because Hugo is still especially logic-based. And Barou could probably just bulldoze through Hugo. I don't know. As big as Hugo is, I don't see him really doing the same thing he's doing to Isagi to, like, a Barou type. Or even really a Kunigami type. I think if you're big and beefy enough, if you're able to go band for band with Hugo in terms of size and stature, I think you're fine. Let's see. But it's not fine. It'll be a lot harder for him to shut you down. Let's see. No matter when or where, Shido is strong and fearsome enough to be exactly who he is. Exactly. And that is one of those things, right? He truly is a character who, like, he's interesting in the way that he's never really going to be power crept in the same way that Rin's never going to be power crept, but just differently enough. Right? Like, Rin's never gonna be power crept because he's Isagi's main rival, right? As much as I'm still, in terms of like the rival rankings, I'm probably putting Rin at the bottom in terms of my favorite Isagi rivals. I like Hugo already more than yeah, I'll say I like the Hugo Isagi rivalry more than I like the Rin Isagi rivalry. And obviously I like Kaiser more. I like Barou more now. Maybe one. Wow, no, I've never really been like, I don't know, Rin's always felt basic. But that aside, Rin will never be power crept because Rin is a consistently ever-evolving monster of a creature who is also the main rival to our main character. Shido will never be power crept because I guess he's just like that. Guess he doesn't have that dog. He just is the dog. Possibly in more ways than one. But like, legit, he's just like that. He's got that dog. So he's just never going to be crept. Like, we're gonna be in like super late game and Shido's still gonna be a top tier threat, despite us not really seeing any of his training. Like, I don't know, maybe we're gonna get revealed in this chapter what he did, but no, in fact, no, we know he went skydiving. Like he didn't have any real proper external training like a Kunigami or an Isagi really did, even though Isagi was just watching games. Like he was just vibing because he is just that cracked. We'll see. But that is also why I do want to see, like, if we could get, as cool as the Karasu and Shido team up is, I want more Shido and Isagi. If I can get one thing before this U20 World Cup ends, I need a Shido and Isagi team up. Because remember, we haven't had that since third selection. I think it's been like 5+ real life years, and it's been hundreds of chapters since we've actually seen those two at all link up. And we know they do actually have a genuine respect for each other too, so I'd actually be really interested to see. Now another rivalry, I do agree that Isagi has one too many rivalries. a couple, maybe too many, but it would be interesting to see those two link up as like an actual duo and do actual duo things. It could be neat. Let's see. To put it positively, he's a genius at expressing himself. Put it negatively, he indiscriminately releases energy to the extent that he ends up influencing those around him. But like, I get why they could be perceived as negative. I was about to say that's not necessarily too negative a trait, but that is truly the balance, though, right? Like ultimately, even I've experienced it. I think I've done it to people. I feel like almost everyone has experienced at least once or twice in their life, where being met with a challenge, especially a challenge that like goes against the fundamentals of what you thought you were at the time, does bring out some of your best performances. I don't know what it is. Like, this has happened to me on every single level, academically, physically, in multiple types of gaming spheres, where just like something absurd will happen, and then I will do something absurd back. Still probably within my limits, still probably something I could have conceived of doing, but I wouldn't have done it without that stimuli. And Shido is that stimuli, right? So of course he's a monster or beast, a creature can vibe out however he feels like, but him increasing the chaos of the game tempo also will increase the chaos for France as well. And obviously, as much as I was slandering Charles for not necessarily doing all too much, Charles does feed off that sort of energy. Hugo, we don't know how he would feed off that energy. I don't know. I feel like he's definitely more order-based, but still, he's probably at least mentally prepared for it and may even get a reaction out of it. And obviously, Loki's just an animal. He hasn't done much. Other complaint about the game so far. He hasn't done much, but he's still an animal too. So, yeah, Shido bringing up the pace around him and spreading this much chaotic energy, I mean, it could backfire. I wouldn't be shocked. Let's see. That's why pairing with Shido means... Wait. That's why pairing with Shido means being changed or opposing him. That's the only communication possible. Oh, wait! Is that Rin? I think that's Rin. That's a 10. That's not an 11. Okay, Rin, finally! Go man for man with Hugo then. Go man, because that's better Rin. I need something from me. But, okay. So Shido, he got past... Okay, not necessarily. He did pass the ball. The guy, his arm wasn't even fully off. But still, he got past the guy who locked down Vatra through sheer force of will, passes it to Hiyori, and then Hugo and Rin are just sprinting right back. He was like, no. Everyone's like, no. I bet in both of their heads, it's the same word on repeat. Like, no, not this guy. Let's see. He's a demon to test your ego against. Yeah. He is, how do I put this? He's like a raid boss-esque character. Except not really. What's a good example? He's a boss character, right? For my Guilty Gear players out there. He's basically Nagoriyuki. Like, in the sense of really, well, not Ryuki's been nerfed a lot in Guilty Gear, but he is sort of that, like, character that plays, obviously in this, he plays the same game as everybody else, but he plays it in such a different way that you do sort of need to switch up your playstyle. For anyone, if Guilty Gear is a little too abstract for you, for anyone who's played fighters, Broly, specifically, realistically either, but especially Z Broly with the super armor of Doom, and like the 50 million different grabs, yeah, he still plays the same game as you, but boy, is it just different enough that you need to approach it differently, and that's what Shido is. And of course, like Broly, at least especially Z Broly, when he was very, very top tier, and still kind of is, oh, I'd say he is, Shido is in that point where he's not just chaotic for the sake of being chaotic, he's chaotic and it's workable, which is more dangerous than anything else. Let's see. I see, ooh, this is, oh, man, the more says it, just flexing on me real quick. What is this angle? I like it. Let's see. I see. Now that I think back, I never managed to have a chemical reaction with Shido. Yeah, he's I specifically remembered their last interaction, quote unquote, was still in third selection, and it was Shido specifically devouring a pass from Isagi, because Isagi thought he was gonna 1-2 it, but she was like, nah, I'll take that real quick. And then specifically, his last, like, same team interaction with Shido was still third selection when he burst through them with the reflex goal. Like, it was between Rin and Shido. That wasn't a chemical reaction, he was just vibing. So let's see. Chemical reaction with Shido. Is because I adapt to my opponents too much? No. It must be because I devour them to score goals. But also, like, genuinely, I think this duo could work really, really well because they work, ironically enough, despite being opposites, they work so well in the idea of either you have to outthink Hisagi, which is very, very difficult, or you have to out-madness Shido. If those two ever manage to get on even slightly the same page, kind of essentially think of what Kaiser and Isagi had at the end of PXG, but replace Kaiser with someone insane. It could still lead to the same, if not more dangerous effects. Because, yeah, you have to worry about Isagi in his bag, but heaven forbid you have the other basically ambidextrous guy who's able to score from literally anywhere as soon as he gets in the penalty box. So, I don't know, I think it'll work. Let's see. But unlike me, Karasu keeps an effective distance from whoever he's working with. Yeah! Sup? Okay. And approaching it and moving away as needed. Merp? Sup? Why is he always saying Merp? I was like, to either accept or reject their methods. He's an independent player with a strong sense of balance. His special talent, his special mindset that can resist Shido's influence is exactly what our team needs right now. I guess that is true. Right? I mean, notably though, I guess if you still want to have that balance point, it is good to have a solid, like, stable point to return to. What's a good example that's not fighting game based? Essentially, I love to swim, but I like swimming in pools more. One, because the ocean's really salty and it burns my eyes, but also I do like the feeling of being able to touch the ground, right? Even on the deep end, I always know, all right, I can touch a solid ground and then swim all the way back up. I've gone in like 24-foot deep pools, and I don't care because I can go all the way down to the bottom. As long as I manage my breath right, I can go down and come right back up. And that's essentially what Karasu is acting as right now. If Shido is the massive expanse of the pool, then Karasu is the ground of the pool, the basis. So he can always sort of reset down to center, reset back to pace. You don't get consumed. I guess Shido would be more akin to the ocean, though. But Karasu's too stable to be like the sand at the bottom of the ocean. Which is why I'm mixing the analogy a little bit. But anyone knows, if you ever swim in the ocean, especially if you've like open ocean swam, where there is no bottom, you kind of just gotta hope for it. You gotta make sure you maintain that strength and stay close to the boat, I guess. Then it is a little bit rough. As fun as it can be, it's a little bit rough. Meanwhile, Karasu is acting as that good solid base ground that they can always return back to, which Isagi isn't being right now. So yeah, Karasu the Usurper. What's it calling him? I'll take it. Let's see. Exactly what our team needs right now. Making sense of Shido's powerful drives and imagination to work with them is something only I can pull off, since I'm more cool-headed than the others. I guess that is definitely true. Obviously, Isagi probably could if he put his mind to it, but he's trying not to. Let's see. Though it ain't like I love that part of me. And you know what though? That is always interesting, and I do like how bluelock tackles this consistently. But the idea that you can acknowledge something about yourself, you can understand that that's a part of yourself that you do need to utilize, but you still don't have to like it. There are many aspects of me where I'm like, man, if only I was just like a little itty bitty tiny bit different on that front specifically. But at the same time, I understand that piece of me also defines me a whole lot. There's that weird balance you sort of got to hit where it's like, yeah, this is it comes with its pros and cons, but I gotta abuse the pros enough that it basically, if not neutralizes the cons, at least gets me more benefit with the pros. And Karasu's currently doing that. Let's see. Darn, he's coming behind us. You could maybe turn around, brother. You could maybe turn around and help. Let's see. Have Shido as my pawn. Beat Isagi. Ooh, yeah, but I'll take it. I mean, I think funnily enough, specifically, right now where Blue Lock as it stands, I guess Karasu would be the other Kingmaker, right? Because Aiku's unfortunately way locked back in the defense line. Bachira, he's too offensively focused to be a Kingmaker. Like, obviously, he still somewhat is. Hiyori is already Karasu's other established rival to a degree. Like, and obviously, I guess you could make a Hiyori Isagi rivalry, but still, in terms of who would be the king, while at the same time being the Kingmaker, as what Isagi and Karasu are both playing into right now, it does make sense that this would be the next step. Because Blue Lock just doesn't really have many others. Like, obviously, you could definitely argue Barou and Shido and Rin are all rivals to Isagi, but that's specifically in the striker role. In the way that Isagi plays Playmaker, I always say Kingmaker now, because that's what we're going on with. But it is truly a specific Isagi thing that only Karasu is sort of like inherently built to counter-oppose, which I think is good. I'm actually more than happy with this development. But it is interesting to think about how, like, Karasu could develop an interesting dynamic with somebody else. Except, so far, there isn't really, like, it would have to be Hiyori, which he already has a dynamic with. Let's see. Beat Isagi. Having Shido as my pawn. We'll bring about my regime. Why can't I read? We'll bring about my regime change. And that's I do like that, though. I like that. Even if, and this goes into the idea that Hugo talks about, right? And the idea of his grand ego, despite, being the number two, the greatest number two. It is that idea that the king is nothing more than a dog with a collar upon its head, as long as it needs to listen to its advisor in order to do anything. That's basically what Karasu is aiming for. It's what Hugo is aiming for. He is a man holding a couple leashes and guiding them along so that they can win. Think of him like the head of like a dog sled, essentially. That's what Hugo is. It's what Isagi essentially attempts to be, but notably the difference between an Isagi and a Hugo, and now an Isagi and a Karasu, is that Karasu and Hugo are in the sled. They are leading the dogs on and going on towards a certain future. Isagi is simultaneously trying to be in the sled, leading, while at the same time being at the front of the pack leading, right? He's trying to be two places at once. And you could argue he's just the front of the pack, right? That's the whole idea of him being the number one. But of course, that does technically leave the sled itself open. So, I don't blame Karasu for trying to slide in and get in where you can fit in. You gotta do what you gotta do. Let's see. Now to smash it in. Piece of cake. One of the most subtle and least freakified things Shido said. Let's see. Oh! How is that? Do my eyes deceive me? Is that Black Skelera? It's been so long. Loki, my boy. Oh, I know you're bad news. I was your master after all. Please don't get clip farmed on, Loki, please. Please don't get clip farmed on. Because, like, I like Loki. He's obviously not one of my favorite characters. Would I have him even in top 10? I just think about it. I need to make that tier list. I'm gonna start doing it. I need to just make tier lists at a time, and especially with these longer ongoing narratives like Blue Lock, I just need to make a tier list, have my characters ranked, and like look back on it years later. Because I'm not sure off the top of my head if I'd have Loki in top 10. I don't think I would. I really don't think I would. I think, can I name 10 characters off my dome? Probably not like more than Loki, but still. My complaint is that he hasn't really done much except get clip farmed on. So it's good to see him actually decide to do something. And in this case, pop the Black Skelera a little bit, go into Reflect. And I do like that this is Loki giving his due respect. And obviously this makes perfect sense. Not even just because Loki was his master, as he points out. But remember, Shido was the only person other than Rin to score on the World 5. AKA the team that Loki was the pseudo lead of. So it makes perfect sense that Loki, probably from memory all the way back then, I say all the way back then, like it was even over a year ago in the universe, it wasn't that long ago, but still, he remembers from back then, oh yeah, this guy, This guy, if I let him wild out a little too much, it could actually be a problem. So he explicitly decides to lock him down with his speed. So I think that works. But because of that, please don't get Cliff Hard. Please don't get Cliff Hard, bro. It's been too long. It's too long. We can't have all of our African American, or well, not African American. Loki's African French, I presume. But we can't have all of our characters of deep melanin get fried like this, bro. Nigeria was nothing but a straight bullying sense for bluelock. And look, you haven't done anything this game except get Cliff Farm done, please. Let's see. No way. He caught up. Karasu. Use that big old brain of yours, dog. He's a speedster. That's what he does. Let's see. If it isn't Speed Demon Loki Cho. Loki Cho? I don't know what that means. Let's see. If it isn't Speed Demon Loki Cho. But it's still... okay. So, but I like... And once again, I do love Shido for that. He's the kind of individual where he does rise to the challenge, right? Like, in many cases... Heck, we've even seen similar interactions before with a new General 11 member on a very prominent striker. Though nearly not as prominent as Shido is now, I'd say. But remember... This was a similar case that happened before, where the ball was in the air, it was looking perfect, it was juicy, it was a nice meaty 50-50, if not just an absolute goal before the 50-50, but then a new General 11 member came out of nowhere and locked down the striker. This is all happened all the way back in the U20 game with Say and Isagi. But in comparison to Isagi, who essentially kind of like, he didn't give up on the goal. He was going for the 50-50, but then he was knocked and he was like, okay, I gotta pass this. Shido's like, man, I don't care. Hold on to me all you want. We can go band for band. We can go M for M, and is still ready to go for it. But it's still just a 50-50 dead heat. And especially with Loki, not necessarily... Like, is Loki ambidextrous? I don't think so. I feel like we've only seen him shoot with his right. But that's the thing. Shido, we know Shido's ambidextrous. And he is... What, is he in his golden zone? If he's not, he's about to be. So, yeah, this is technically... Especially since Loki isn't a defender. This is good so on the bad. Let's see. Whoever touches it first is the winner. Yeah. And it does, like, right now, the ball does look like it's coming for Shido real quick. Let's see. Shido versus who I got? See, to avoid the clip farm, I want to say Loki. So I'm going to go with Loki. Well. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is like, don't bet. What do you mean? Well, I mean, it makes sense. Wait a minute. So like, I didn't fully cook this on my own. I ain't gonna lie. This is a stolen recipe a little bit. But what was one of the main things I noticed when we saw that like super giga hyper mech? It was like a fusion of Loki's ego, of Hugo's ego, and of Charles's like ego attribution. I'm not sure, because once again, that ego was assigned to Charles by Piori, who was specifically viewing him as a video game lens. But it has essentially seemed to be Charles's ego. But that idea of, we saw a king and like a winged beast or demon flying up towards that mech. So what do we have here? Barou, who literally jumped. That actually, unironically, is he actually gonna score? Is he actually gonna? Wait a minute. A trap into a one-time hit. Okay, wait. But sorry, I got sidetracked. But what was I even saying there? What was I even saying? Like I got sidetracked. I'm trying. He's about to score. But the idea that Barou just set up last chapter, like, hey, Isagi, you're kind of boring, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, Chief. You ain't got that dog in you no more. I'm gonna go find someone who does have the dog in him. Him immediately locking on to Shido makes sense, especially considering, right, what we've seen of Barou and his ability so far. Despite him being of the genius archetype, though you can definitely argue here's the talent to learn. I've seen many discussions about Barou possibly being like fraudulent genius. Because, like, we know a lot of Barou's attributes come from his sheer determination and training, and nothing that Barou innately does is, like, super duper special other than his build. But in that case, everyone with a decent build would be a genius, but we also know that characters with crazy builds are not geniuses, they're talented learners, like someone like Snuffy. Even though, once again, I am fully in the camp that geniuses and talented learners are more spectrum than hard line. We've gone down that rabbit hole before, we won't go down that rabbit hole now. But the thing is, Barou has always sort of been playing in the logical sphere of things. Even with Barou's, like, insanity, it comes with the idea of, oh, you understand the game. Let me use that understanding of the game against you. He does it with the chop dribble. He does that with his one-on-one predator eye, which currently is right. I think he scored. But one-on-one predator eye, specifically interacting with the goalie. And he does it just generally in terms of who he hunts, right? Obviously, his main target was Isagi prior, who is a very tactical, very logistical, very under... Like, you break Isagi's plans down and they make sense. Meanwhile, Shido kind of is that perfect new out there prey for him if he's going to be preying on people from his own team, because essentially Barou gets to sort of like, it's kind of so weird, genius max, if that makes sense, right? Where he can abuse the fact that whatever Shido's going to do is absolutely insane. And it's so over centralizing that he could sneak in like this, that he could pull this off, because you will forget, right? Like, see, I keep going back to fighting games, I can't help it. But there are many times, especially if your fighting game has assists. I'm horrified for Marvel consoles. But like, if your game has assists, there are times where you will completely ignore the assist or forget about it because you're dealing with something else. The amount of times I've been blown up by an assist at fighters just because I wasn't paying absolute attention because I was trying to block a mix-up. These things happen, and Barou essentially gets to abuse that. Loki, I keep calling him Loki. Shido is that over-centralizing force, that bright light that gets cast over the field, even if it is like a blinding, chaotic light, that Barou, the King of Darkness, can come in and get the munching. So let's see. Does this count as a Loki clip farm? Oh, it may be a Loki clip. Oh, Loki, please. No, I'm getting clipped. You're supposed to be the strongest. No, it really is all bunny upscale, bro. No. Let's see. It's you, cellular explosion freak. Huh? Oh, you know what, though? If there's any character to bring a moment of lucidity and genuine confusion out of Shido, I'm glad it's Barou. Man, you want to talk about the switch of Doom and Despair, dog. With how much I used to, like, not really be a fan of Barou, for how much I'm a fan of him now, call it character development. But that being, him being the one to be like, to have Shido being like, wait a minute, did I just get used? Without my consent? Is that what that feels like? Let's see. You're replacing Isagi as Bluelock's new king. Oh. But you know what? That's actually very interesting. I mean, I suppose Barou, especially when specifically cornered with Bluelock and not on Uber specifically, and his own self-made teams, he has always been more of a usurper. But it is very interesting considering his whole ideals of being the king, right? Like, it is like the usurper king is a very common storytelling format, and it happens a lot in history too. But to see Barou, like, essentially hand somebody the crown, like for example, like, imagine me handing you this die, and then the second you take it, I'm gonna punch you in the face and take it back. That's essentially what Barou is doing here when he says he crowns Shido or is replacing Isagi as Bluelock's king. He's like, yeah. You be the king, so I can rob you. It's like handing somebody $20 so you can take the 40 they now have. That's basically what Barou is doing. And hey, I respect it. And this, Barou, yeah, and he just scores. Okay, that may be one of the fastest turnarounds between I'm gonna do something and then immediately do Isagi. Tick tock. That was the clock, my brother. What are you doing? Barou just got on the pitch. He scored within first 15 minutes on the pitch? Brody had one stop and said, wait a minute, not right now. And locked in twins. Okay, Barou. I can look at Shido and Loki looking back like, did we just get dual clip farmed on? What is that? I can't believe it. Barou the Thai establisher. Barou the Thai creator. Let's see. Barou hunted Shido? Yes, indeed. Yo, at least he knows to take his shirt off this time. But look, yeah, he deserves it. Yeah, I give him his due glaze. I know. Oh, I know Crocodile's tweaking and geeking. I know he's tweaking and geeking. Let's see. Shohei Barou with a super goal. Yeah, I mean, like, the mid-air trap into that's like a zero reaction time kind of thing. To immediately trap it, land on one foot, mind you. And, like, I can't even tell. Is that his left? He may have landed with the right, flicked up into the same kick with the right. Well, that still may be his left. I think it is his left. It's his left. But for him to land and immediately fly into that kick before Loki or Shido could even react, or anyone could react, good stuff. And obviously he does have Predator right here, so he took advantage of the fact that Renoir, the goalie, was fully focused on Shido as the threat and was not ready for Barou to come in and intercept. Good work, Barou. Good work. Stealing a pass to Ryusei Shido. He fires off a blistering shot to tie the game. Yeah. Part of the tie established here. Let's see. Shohei Barou has thrown down the counterattack gauntlet. I do like that though. His Ubers people are like, yeah, go ahead. Are you stilling it out? And Ike was like, let's see, Isagi. He gave up on me. It's useless. I mean, Loki, Isagi, you kind of. And unfortunately, I'm the kind of guy who loves to slander the characters I love. So you want Loki? You Loki looking like Kuso. You Loki pulling a Kuso right now. He's like it's fine that you're here. You just ain't doing much. So it's unfortunate, Isagi. You look kind of rough. And switch to trying to devour Shido, because the hottest part of the field is around Karasu. The hottest and the brightest part. If Barou is a roaming black hole, he follows the brightest star. And right now, Isagi, his flame is burning out a little bit. Let's see. As the two jokers devour each other, no pause. And the one who tamed them both. Oh, wait, no. Let me see. That was sick, but I'm still angry. Hyena-kun. Hyena? He's the Lion King. Watch out. Watch out. Let's see. If you don't like it, then bite back, Cell Exploder. You know what, though? I like this. If we're going to set up a new rivalry between these two, I'm always down for it. And I do like that they don't refer to each other as their more common epithets. Did I say that word? Epithets? I think epithets. I said epithets. Epithets. Like, Barou is typically referred to as a lion. Like, well, obviously we saw his ego earlier in this very chapter. But he is in many ways a hyena, a scavenger, right? One who will show up after the fact and be like, hey, that's some nice setup you did there. No. Like, remember, his most defining goal in the U20 was that. His most defining goal just now in this U20 arc is that. And even his goals in, like, well, actually, I wouldn't say the one in PhD. Or in the one in the New Eagles League. The first one, at least. But the second one was arguably another, like, cool setup, broski. Trying to break you open. Same thing that Barou's doing here. That is very hyena-esque. And while Cell Exploding is still definitely part of Shido's thing, obviously he's more commonly known as the Demon. But Barou doesn't want to give him that respect, even if he is willing to crown him king. So I like, yes, give me more. Give me more dynamics outside of his time. Give me, What's it? And the one who tamed them both. Well, tamed is a strong word for Barou. Let's see. He's the new ruler, Karasu, the Kingmaker. Yeah, buddy. Good. Keep at it. It's my turn in the spotlight. Okay, Karasu, that's spooky. It's not even spooky. It's just facts. It's just like he is genuinely responsible for both goals. He is that. I mean, technically, would his assist? Would his interaction with Yori count as like a actual assist? I don't think so. But obviously, he's the reason Yori scored. The heck of a reason Yori even had the motivation to score. And he did just give the direct assist to Barou, which was set up for Shido. So yeah, Karasu, he's the second best right now, but he's creating. Look at that. Look at the squad. Look at the gang. Look at the move. Let's see. Is the team stronger than when I was at number 1? Am I losing my place here? Bluelock is falling into Karasu's hand. Then do something about it. Then do something. Then ball out. Then ball out. Then ball out. Hey. Nothing in life is stable, Isagi. You should know this better than anyone else. Ball out. Ball out, brother. Maybe you need to go a little bit insane. Maybe you need to break away from your conventions. Maybe you need to acknowledge the fact that you're just a bit more of a genius than you'd like to believe, Isagi. You need to evolve. Because right now, yeah, this is Karasu's team. This is Karasu's team. And Loki, even without Loki, he's going crazy. Let's see. Uh-oh. Coach is like, what are we doing? Loki, Hugo, over here. Yeah, Rodin. Go in, Rodin. Let's see. If you lose here, do you really think you can win the World Cup? I do like that he cracked. Like, obviously he's not gonna actually hit him, but interesting that he does go to crack his nuts. It's like, are we seriously doing this right now? What is happening? Though obviously, while Hugo seems unbothered, Loki does generally look disappointed. Like, man, I keep getting clip farmed. You can clip farm in this game. Let's see. No, I sure don't. Loki just can't score a suitable goal. Oh! So, I mean, he right, though. I mean, he right. Who scored? Oh, but Loki got the brace last game. Okay. Who scored in this game? Who scored in this game? It was Charles. It was Charles and Hugo. And Hugo did it something light, something easy, something clean. Yeah, Loki. Ain't you supposed to be the strongest ninja at 111? play for the France national team already? Like who you not feeling like? Because you ain't feeling like the strongest right now. You low-key feeling like a set piece. I'll give you credit. You're doing more than Rin, because you at least getting screen time. But my brother remains. Yeah, you gotta lock in, Twinsky. Let's see. Shut up. Hugo's passes just suck. I wouldn't say all that, brother. I wouldn't say all that. Charles has been right here this entire time. You're legit begging for Charles. I'm pretty sure Charles gave you a pass or two here, and you still ain't got nothing. Ain't got nothing. You've been free eats. You've been clip farmed on everyone from Karasu, a little bit to Chigiri, now just Barou and Shido at the same time. Like, getting dual clip farmed on as supposedly the strongest Legion World Love member. Like, Loki, brother, no excuses. Don't care. Where's the locking? Where's the locking? You have to reflexize this chapter. I'll give you that. But I need you to start sweating, brother, because you ain't doing much. Let's see. Oh, actually, I do like this, though. I like this dynamic. I like that. And especially with the idea that now is in my head that, like, Loki was guided to Charles by Hugo. I do like the idea that one of the few people who can genuinely agitate Loki is Hugo. Because it's kind of like, I always have and always will acknowledge when someone is smarter than me, right? Because that's one of the many, I respect a lot of things. One of the main things I respect is when someone clearly has more intelligence than me. It's something that, like, you could argue it's not fully quantifiable, especially once you get past, like, any point of education, but still, you can tell by how someone interacts, how someone speaks, how they articulate themselves, their level of intelligence, especially if you have, like, an extensive conversation with them. It doesn't have to be an argument, you can tell. And it is always intriguing to have to build a dynamic or a banter with somebody who does sort of stand above you in a way. And Hugo technically does. Even if Loki is the quote-unquote greatest New General 11 member, he still falls beneath Hugo in a way that does fundamentally matter. Let's see. I'm changing our formation. We're making bolder attacks. Even more. Okay, Ronan. Let's see. Show off your gifts. Okay. Stop cracking your knuckles, though. What you gonna do? Let's see. Yes, coach. No need to tell me. Yes, need to tell you, Loki. You've done nothing but get clip formed. Let's see. Roger. I can't slander Hugo. This only has been his game. Let's see. Oh, his name is Vivian. Okay. Wait, no, I think I actually heard about that. I heard his character sheet came out. He reads blank books. He really... I know he drinks matcha. But like Vivian Hugo. Okay. Let's see. Apparently, I think he has an older sister. Let's see. Vivian Hugo knows that being born in the same era, in the same country, and meeting Julian Loki was a part of his... Oh, no, they're getting a flashback! They're flashback... Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been real, and it's been fun. But that is crazy, though. You want to talk about unexpected for especially the first game, like, with how much is going to this first France game, I wonder if we are going to get a rematch. Maybe not in this art. Maybe they don't. I don't know, man. Because we're getting a lot. To already get Hugo flashbacks. I wasn't expecting Hugo flashback. I mean, to be fair, this is directly tied in with Loki. But so I wasn't expecting flashbacks for either of these two this game. I don't think they're going to need the flashback buff. But a WWW chapter. I like it a lot. Overall, I love how both Hugo and Loki are characterized. Even if I still think Loki really should stop getting clip farmed on. I do like Barou's integration, and specifically how he simultaneously breaks away from the system that Karasu and Shido created, but still feeds into it. He still, in a very similar way to Loki, kind of just falls under the wing of Karasu, quite literally, because Karasu, he goes to Karasu, and I like seeing that. I do like Barou and Shido developing a possible rivalry-esque dynamic. This panel looks very familiar. I feel like he made a very similar pose and look previously. But overall, I like it. And I do like that, hey, once again, I can't help it. I like when my main characters struggle and suffer. Something's wrong with me. I like that Isagi is realizing how relevant he is. I like how he's realizing that, oh wait, no, I'm not doing it right now. I just don't have that dog in me. And seeing Isagi have to realize that, ooh, it's diddly. So, if you had always see this video, please do me a favor and leave the exploding hyena. Because that's basically what this was. Leave the exploding hyena in the comment section down below. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, you can have a page down below. You support me for as well as $1 a month. Things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks include live reactions to other series I have to review, ad variations of all my videos, early ad free access to all my videos, early ad free access not just all my videos on the main channel, but on the second channel. That call to action, link in the description down below, along with the With your name listed at the end of every single video, if you're a $3 member of $3 Patreon, how you get your name listed read aloud at the end of every single video. I do also have my Twitch down below, that guy with the controller. I stream every Friday, 8 p.m. ES Tizzle. Feel free to roll through. We have a wonderful time chatting about literally anything and everything there. And I do have my Ko-Fi down below. If you want to drop 5 weeks to a short video or 25 weeks to a long video, any means at all, any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I want to thank you so much for watching once again. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is that guy with the pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Glacier XZ, Zera, J2 May, Buddha Ura, Yuki Ally, Grim, Ollie, The Boy, Corey Watson, Damon Brown, Tim Thomas, Kaving, ORXN, Logan Guzman, Dead Mean, Keon Stewart, Edwin Igbignoba, Straw, Antavius Mitchell, Superflame Zero, Weary Exile, Alex Kenny, Todd, The Practical One, Landon Clapwick, Heath Nelson, CAET, Plant Crone, Brandon Payne, Black Sage, Multi-Batman Superman, Zalims, Joe Bean, Sleepin' John, The Young Family Pastel Pandora, Mo City King DKG, Angeline Bonnet, Akolade Babatunde, at JDog2656, Union Eye, Funny Dude, Athenzi Shear, Sino King, Sheesh King, Aswin Hedi Prasetya, JMB KD, CCC, Enzo, Kitty Liddy, Gerald Harris, Dino, Victor Jacobs, Axis XC, and RTM Gangatron. Then I'd like to give a thank you to our line art tier patrons: A+A, Dread Zoen, Kevin Encarnacion, Lil Kodo, and Sean. Then I'd like to give a thank you to our ink tier members: Shrimpo the 4th Shrimp 06. And then I'd like to give a thank you to our digital art tier members: J Warrior and AZ Void. And I'd like to give a final thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Joaquin Munoz and Joaquin Munoz.